Hello, this is Winston Cunningham. It is March the 9th in 2026. And what is on my mind today is listening within. It is listening within where I've found the most value over the last 40 years. And I'm listening even more intently and more deeply now, because there's some downloading I want to do, and that's what it, in today's language, that's what it really is because we download from our own subconscious mind, our own soul, that which we need now to do what we're preparing to do. The subconscious mind does not feed us what we need to know without our permission. It is your partner. It quite simply says, you want it, you got it. So the real work happens in the conscious mind once you have the download from the subconscious mind. And you get the subconscious mind's download as you need it. One of my talks I did earlier was we're on according to the need, we're on a mission, and we get information on a need to know basis. And the way we get that information is by being still. And this is what it actually means. The phrase that says, be still and know that I am God. Because it is in listening within to the self, which is the inner self. Part of is the subconscious mind, and the real inner self is the superconscious mind, the heaven part. It is in doing all this downloading and working through understanding the experiences, which is the only way we can see truth of any kind, is through our own experience. It is by working with our own partner, the one within. The marriage made in heaven is from the superconscious mind. It's between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. I've been working with this now for about 40 years. And it's getting even more important now than it's ever been. And I'm seeing, just this morning, or overnight, I had a question in my mind, I went to bed with a question, and I woke up, on two different occasions, to use the bathroom, but the reason I got up was because there was a dream that I wanted to write down and acknowledge. And when I finally woke up, a little bit earlier than I'd planned, but that's okay, because I had a second portion, wasn't the same dream, but it addressed the same question. So I looked at it. It didn't take long to interpret it, or both of them. And I looked up the significance in Dreams of the Soul, Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. I got the significance there. And then I looked in the Universal Language of Mind, Matthew Interpreted, and I got the significance there. And it was really a clear message to me. And so this is the way things are coming. Now, I won't go into detail about the dream because this talk is not about that dream. It's about the process of listening within. And I'm at a point to where listening within is where I've gone deeper than I ever have before. at a time when most people have finished their life and are kind of easing on out. I'm just getting started. I'm 82. That's why I mentioned that. Listening within, and there's another talk I did, the good stuff is buried deep. And of course, the way you find this, the good stuff, is by listening within. And most people on this planet are otherwise occupied listening to things they wear on their head and in their ear, or in this box that I'm talking into now. They're just totally distracted. They're distracted because they do not want to hear what's in here. They have not admitted that. But I see people who are attached to their gizmos for whatever reason. But the reason is they need a distraction because they don't want to be bothered with the real stuff. That's what it comes down to. But I do. It's the real stuff that really interests me. In fact, somebody was just it's kind of amusing sometimes. You get these connections online. They pretend to want to get acquainted and so forth and everything. So just today I heard from somebody that I'd talked to probably a year or so ago, and they'd probably forgotten, and I didn't even remember who it was. But she told what ideas she had in mind. I said, well, what you need to do next, if you're serious, is listen to my talks. And so far, this one today will be number 97. And I said, hear them all. So that you can decide if I'm someone that you want to know more about. That is the next step. And if she's not willing to take that, then we don't have any business talking. Because other than that, it would just be foolishness. And I've had enough foolishness. I had enough foolishness. There's no end to foolishness if somebody is attached to the physical existence only. The only thing they deem as real is what they get through the five senses. But listening within, you begin to get acquainted with a sixth sense. This is your intuition. Messages that come directly, not indirectly, directly from your own soul. And if you want these messages, you got to listen. Dreams are a way of receiving messages from your own soul. I got some clear ones this morning through the dreams. My job, because I do want to receive this communication, not only through dreams, but I am downloading now what I need to get ready for my next major life cycle, and I talked about this on an earlier talk. And it is working because I am coming to information that is clarifying questions that I may have had at a glance at times during my life. But now I'm taking those questions seriously. And so my own soul is addressing some things that are helping me get prepared My own soul will cause me to look at things that I probably wasn't early on or earlier. I wasn't prepared to deal with them, but I am now. As I said, I've had enough foolishness. It's time to get serious. And I am serious. And if somebody wants to get acquainted with me, they've got to be serious. Because otherwise, it's a waste of time. And when a person wastes time, they get tired a lot. I don't like being tired. In fact, I do recharge 3 times a week at this point to make sure I have enough energy to do what I want to do. This energy is available to every person on the planet, but most people do not even know about it. Once you start listening within, you begin to know through your experience things that before you could only believe. Believing happens easily. Knowing takes some work. Now, religion tells you you don't need to work. But they don't know what I'm talking about. Their job is to keep you distracted. And they do good at that. And another talk I did was going in myself from please Lord to thank you Lord. Going from begging to getting serious, which I am now. From begging to giving thanks for what I have. As I accept more of what I have, I give more thanks for what I have. And there's obviously a lot that I have yet to accept. So I'm working on that. And I'm approaching the most important part of my life, the 4th major life cycle of 28 years. And there'll be one more after that. That's what I have planned. Be a total of about 140 years at this point. If I need more, I'll plan more. It's my choice. Most people don't even know that. They don't know. They think somebody up there is making all of their choices for them. That's foolishness. Total foolishness. It'll put you in bed with most of the people, but it will not give you the truth. The truth will only come from your own experience directed by your own soul. And listen to my talks. I talk a lot about these things. And if you look at this picture and see the title of my talk, and you've done a snapshot, and you know what I've said already, and that's all you listen to, then you don't really want to know what I said. If you want to know what I say, listen to the whole thing. I've met people at the Y. Oh, I've seen your talks. But they haven't actually listened. They saw where I had the talks online. They saw the page. They didn't listen to anything that I said. And they don't at the Y either. And I talk about these things. People are always asking questions or making comments. So I talk. There are a few people who do listen. There are a few people who do want to know. And they can sense in me that I'm worth listening to. Because I am there. I am here. When I was sitting in church growing up, all of these people were begging. And they seemed to have lost track of God. And my first talk called Introduction, I talked about how that occurred with me. I think I was about 11 years old, and I was observing what was going on in the church. And I began to see what was actually occurring. And it greatly disappointed me. And I knew, well, it took me a while to really realize that I needed to get out of that situation. And I won't go into that here. But in steps, I graduated into, when I was 42, I found the School of Metaphysics. Not accidentally. I found it because I had recognized, or I had admitted within myself, that there was a system available to help me understand how all this works and to get a handle on some of it. And I said, I don't care where it is, what you call it, I want it. But what I said next is what caused it to come to me. I said, I will have it. And that's what I'm practicing a lot of now. I will have it. And I'm seeing things come to me as a result of that. Things that I've wanted for a long time. But I had not got serious about acknowledging the existence of the thing that I want. And I'm just now coming to that, is in order for me to get what it is that I know I need to experience, and I'm seeing some of that, I need to be open to receiving the download from within that prepares me once I say I will have it. I want to be prepared to receive it. And so I'm spending a lot of time preparing myself to receive. Now, how it's all going to play out, I don't know. But judging from what I've experienced just in the last few months, I am very much encouraged. I'm not depressed about being here. I'm excited about being here. I'm excited about being here. That's where I am. And it excites me to be with certain people. And there are things coming to me that are surprises, pleasant surprises. Pleasant surprises. And I'm looking forward to more. And at the same time, I'm getting more and more, I'm letting go of those things that are not serving the purpose for which I am here. And that includes people as well. Now, I want to always be open to help somebody if I can. But I don't want to steer somebody wrong or tell them something that I don't believe is correct. So I practice speaking truth as I see it. And that's the way that I connect with people who I can see it in their face. Oh, they're finally run across somebody that admits what's real. And they seem relieved. Because most people I talk to are caught up in the distractions. And another talk I did, or something I realized a while back, is that by relinquishing the need to be entertained, at the same time I've opened up the universal tap that has unlimited entertainment. This is amazing to me. So rather than being disappointed about where I am, I'm actually excited. Excited about where I am at 82. How many 82-year-old people do you hear that from? Check it out. And while you're at it, listen to some more of my talks. And one thing I like about the YouTube thing is that if I find a talk that I like, I press on like, it shows up on a list. And I've run across some really good messages that I like. And so pay attention to the ones that I like. But the most important thing is the questions that you have. Address the questions that you have. And if you need help there, listen to my talk on the question. Once you get that routine down, that's the most important part. Listen to it. Listening within is quite simply where it's at. I'm Winston Cunningham. Thank you.